Got a new plan for the inverter and doing some more wiring on this episode of
the Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and fuzzy studio audience. That is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Okay, yeah, as I said in my last video, I kind of had to punt because I wasn't sure that the newer inverter is just so much bigger and thicker than the old one that my original plan of putting it in the cabinet underneath the sink just wasn't going to work. So I had to come up with a new idea, and so I said, you know, I need to go talk to my wife and get a second set of eyes on this, and somebody who hasn't been obsessing about this project like the whole time like I have, and help me come up with some better ideas. So that's what we did. Like I showed you in the last video, you can see how much bigger this inverter is, this 3,000 watt one, than this 2,000 watt one down here on the floor. It's a little bit longer, it's a hell of a lot taller, and it's a lot heavier. So to try to put it in that space down there just wasn't going to work. So there were a few different options. We could have tried to put it inside the closet in the little area underneath the Ninja Foodie where I was going to plan on putting my box for my socks and underwear and shorts and all that stuff. But then it's kind of stuck back there inside, and my wife brought up some really good points. She said, you know, okay, if you ever have to replace this, which I probably will at some point, or I need to access it, I need to have better access. And so then we looked at the front of the sink area again, and I brought up, well, the only other idea I had was I haven't built this upper cabinet yet. The upper cabinet that's going to be right here, this is my driver's seat. There's the toilet. There's where the sink's going to go. I'm going to build a cabinet right here. Its floor is going to be about this height, right along with this beam. And it's going to go up and follow the wall and come out to about where you see those little holes up there where I can access it or, you know, put it in. I can use the bolts on the wall to secure it. And I can secure it to this beam, which is solid as hell right at this point. So I'm going to have a closet there, a little, little closet if you want to call it, cabinet. It's going to come out to about this point. It's going to cover up that bare wood. And we figured that would be the best place right there, right in this space, to go ahead and mount the inverter. Then it's going to be built into something solid, so it's not going to move. I can screw it down to the floor. I can put some holes in the floor underneath for ventilation so it can breathe, because it does have fans that go off in that thing. So since I hadn't built this cabinet yet, then I figured, well, that's going to be the best option. Then I can just open the cabinet door whenever I need to have access to it, to check the lights, make sure it's working right. I'll put a shelf up above it up here, give it some more breathing room. So all the rest of this up here will then now be my upper cabinet. I figured this would be the easiest place. The wires come in from down there. You can see them where they're hitting the old inverter up through the floor. See right where they come up through the floor. So I'm just going to have it go through the space in the wall I've already cut out there around the toilet, and it's going to go up the chute right there that I'm going to be building, where I'm going to already have other wires, outlets, and the duct going up that'll feed into this cabinet and aim out over my bed area up above. So that's the solution we came up with. So I think that's going to be a much better solution after talking with her, and just if I can talk things out with her, we usually come up with a solution together, and that's what really happened. So when it'll be in the cabinet right up there, for one, it'll have easy access to it, so if I need to reset it, turn it off or on, whatever, check the cables in back, check the lights, the status of the lights, because sometimes if I'm using the microwave and I run it for more than like 3 minutes, the batteries, I get the red light on my current inverter telling me that the batteries aren't getting enough charge or not putting out enough, and that's when I just kick the truck into high idle, and that always takes care of that problem, and I just leave it on high idle while the rest of the time I'm cooking. That takes care of it. So I need to be able to see those lights easily anyway. I can just open that cabinet up while I'm cooking so I can see the status lights, so I know how everything's doing, and like I say, I'll have easy access to it. Like my wife said, well, you know, you may have to replace it someday. Inverters don't last forever. So true, and if I do, well then it'll be an easy in and out, and it's going to be solidly built up there, because like I say, that thing's heavy. It's not light, so it needs to be built into something pretty solid, and that way it'll sit up there horizontally like it is on the bench back there right now, and that way I'll just screw it down to the floor. It won't move around, and it's going to be solid. I think that's going to be the best solution overall. The other problem I mentioned in the last video is my cables that I ordered aren't long enough. They're just too short. They're really high strength, high industrial cables. They already have the things on the end so they can plug right into the inverter and then connect directly to the batteries below my step. They're right below my driver's step here. So they go through the floor, but I needed longer ones. So of course last night I had to go on Amazon and order longer cables, and of course they won't be here till Thursday. But at least now that I know where it's going to go, and I still need to build the cabinet anyway, at least I can run all the other electrical lines that will be going into and out of it and everything, and to all the switches and the outlets and the other light fixtures I need to put up. So I can go ahead and run all that. So that's what I'm going to start working on tonight. Alright, since I know I'm not putting the inverter in here, I went ahead and put in a little side post that'll be the front facade for the cabinet here, for the sink area. So it's going to be right here, and so I needed to build a side. I'm going to have to build another side here because that board is not long enough, but I liked using that board because it's padded and all that, and it looks good around the toilet area. So we're going to work that in later, but that gives me something to start with there. I was able to then put that box in, the electrical box. This will be the first thing after it comes out of the inverter, which of course will now be up there. It'll run down the chute in the wall, around the wall here, and come into my box. So this will be the first outlet, and I'm going to plug in into that outlet this little block, which is inside my closet. You can see it's right back there, and that feeds the microwave right up there and the Ninja Foodie right there. So that just snakes around, pops out through the wall, and it'll plug in right there. The other power strip, which is below my second step, that feeds my refrigerator and freezer and possibly a TV and other things, it's currently plugged into my inverter down here. You can see that wire going across, so it comes across the toilet right here, and then it jumps down there. It'll also come up here and plug right into that box. That'll be the first outlet out of the inverter. Then I'll just run a wire going over to the wall to come up to another outlet, which will be right about there. That'll feed the outlet that's going to be up above my bunk, which will eventually feed this wire, which feeds my outlet and switch upstairs in the new section. Following along, and of course there'll be a switch fed from that second outlet that'll go up the chute area. Up in here I got to drill a hole up there, so that'll pop through the wall into now my first mounted light area, which will shine down over my sink and toilet. Then I put in my second outlet box for my light that'll be right here in front of the closet, and I went ahead and wired up, you can see it up there, coming through that wall, another light that's flush on the other side of the wall. So here's looking at the closet again, and see I put that light in right there up high on the wall, and it's nice. See how thin it is? If you go back this way, barely sticks out the wall. It's just, you know, I'm really not going to be using this area for much of anything. It's just, it was so dark back there, I decided let's put one more light. They're not that expensive, they're like 20 bucks to aim out this way, and it was easy to flush mount it against the wall with the wires coming out inside, and that'll join up with everything else that's up here. I'm standing back here by my driver's seat right here. Gives you a little bit better overview with the toilet, that little wall that's going to be partially there, the new cabinet that'll hold the inverter there, and it'll stick out up to about here with the duct aiming back that way into my bunk area, which is up there now. And you can see my extension with the light up there above it, the light over there over my nightstand area, my closet back there. That's all new stuff. Have my landing, of course, so you can come back down the steps. There's a new vent I put in. Right behind that, there's actually you can open that door and there's access for storage. That's where my other power strip is. And in front of all this stuff, see there's another door here, and even in front of that vent, that's also storage underneath. So you can kind of get a better overview. There's my fridge, my freezer, the new vent I moved forward. That'll of course be lit up back there by that light. You can get a better overview of the whole remodel. It's a beautiful thing. Well, I did it. I hadn't cut myself in a while, but yeah, I did it again somehow. I don't know how I did it. I was drilling the holes to run the wires. You can see up there behind me. And I look at my hand and there's just blood dripping off. So, gotta take care of this first. Stylish though. Look, I got two colors, black and yellow. Ooh. Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. It's 1:23 a.m. after all anyway. As I've said in these videos, it takes me another hour or an hour and a half or more to edit the thing down. Then I gotta upload it to YouTube. That takes up to an hour. So if I stop now with the video stuff, I may be able to be in bed by 3:30ish, maybe 4 a.m. So there you go. It aggravates the hell out of me how long it takes to upload them. I mean, my God, come on, YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, more progress, more things are happening. Now at least we got that whole inverter thing figured out, so that's good. Oh, and I did want to mention real quick, you know, I know this is going on forever. This is update 67. I meant to mention on yesterday's update, because it was 66, it reminds me of I'm a big Star Wars fan. So, you know, I always remember how it was initiate Operation 66 or something like that, right? And that's when the what turned out to be the, you know, the white guys, whatever, you know, with the plastic armor, you know what I'm talking about, when all of a sudden they turned against the rebels and joined the empire, whatever, you know. Okay, I'm a fan, maybe I'm not a huge fan. Well, yeah, we finally got that whole inverter situation figured out where it's going to go. Thanks to my wife, brought her out here and said, all right, help me out, and she did, so that's great. And of course, then a few more other little things done. It's supposed to be better weather tomorrow, so I think we're going to shift gears and go back to the outer box and try putting the insulation in on that, the outer skin on it, and getting it prepared for the diamond plate. Sound good, Rusty? Do you approve of that? There you go. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment if you'd like to. Get your comments usually within 24 hours while doing this project. Don't forget about Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. And don't forget to ring that bell for notifications so you know when new videos come out and if we go live or something like that. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. So, Mr. Lungergard, I hate to bother you, but, you know, after all, the reason I'm back is, you know, the people I'm looking into this, you know, the killing up there in Brainerd, you know. And so one of the people called your shop here, and so I was thinking maybe those things would be like, you know, connected. All right, here it is, here it is. Where's it going? Oh, it went back there. Go get it. Ah, yes. Happy dog. Love the bacon strip. What would you do without bacon strips, Rusty? I don't know. I'm not sure you'd survive. All right. That was the last little piece. I think you got it, buddy. I think you got it. Yeah, I know you're still going to look around.